What's up, YouTube? I want to show you another gun I bought. This is a Richard Redman. It's got some flaws in the stock. It's missing half a butt plate, or a third of it. Trigger guard is broke. It's got external hammers. It's got very intricate detail. Anyway, it is the Richard Redman. It's like from the late 1800s. Okay. That might look like rust on the receiver, but it's actually designs. And there's a chip in the wood here. It's missing the front bead. The wood's a little iffy around the end of that piece of metal. It's got a chip in the stock here, and right in here there's a little bit of wood missing. Those are their flaws. This is just my before. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with it or not, but just in case, I wanted a before. Boards are nice and shiny. I don't know if you can see in them. Probably not very well. Yeah, again, it's got good face, good lockup. It's an like late 1800s, 1880, 1890. Anyway, before, I don't know if I'm going to do anything or not, but just in case, this is the before. This is the before. Hey, welcome back. I got some things fixed on it. I fixed my trigger guard. I welded a tab onto it, and it's just what it needed. I had some brazing on it. I got the brazing out of the receiver, and there's a weld on the receiver. I filed that down flat. I drilled a hole through it, put a screw in it, and backed the old screw out. I had a screw, supposed to have a screw on it, and it was welded or brazed fast. So the stock was loose. There's no way of tightening it, and there's no way to put that on. I had to fix it. So I got the tab on there, and the only screw I could find was one that stuck up. Now it's a metric, and I'll go to the hardware store tomorrow to try to find a pan head screw that's a metric that'll fit in there. But for now, that screws in there just fine, and it works. If I have to, I can just leave it like that, but I'm going to try and find a pan head screw if I can. I made a PVC spacer because I used what was left of my original butt plate, and I used that PVC as a base, built a dam out of tape, just put tape around it, mixed up some epoxy. So that's probably could use a coat of paint. But other than that, that don't look too bad. I mean, it's the original butt plate, and it's functional. The white kind of sets it off, and that wasn't really my intention to have that, but it just made it easier to set that epoxy in there. Excuse me. Seen a guy from Midway do that. He used epoxy to fix a chip that was out of this, and he did it a lot better than I did, but I did it. I sanded the stock down. Pretty sure that's oak. I sanded the forehead down. There was this nice little metal thing in there that you couldn't see before. It was just covered up with something, I don't know, shellac or junk. I polished a lot of the receiver parts so you can see the intricate detail in it. You know. Oh, I got stuff in the way. It is a Richard Redman, London and Birmingham. I don't know if I said before, but it is a 12 gauge. I sanded the stock down, sanded it down, tried to stain it. It didn't take stain very well, and I thought, screw it, you know. Back then, I don't think they really did a lot with the wood. They just stained them, I believe. So I stained it, and I did put about 6 coats of clear on that. You can't tell because I used this good old Krylon matte finish. There's probably 6 or 7 coats on there, and it just looks like wood. Maybe stained, but the water beads up on it. It'll protect it. I did the same thing with the foregrip. I sanded that down. I didn't sand it past the checkering. I was going to. You can still see the checkering, but you can't feel it. It's a different color because I couldn't get sanded quite as deep. I couldn't get all that old stain off. But as far as functional, it's functional. Everything's fixed. It's kind of neat. I learned a lot about these old ones. There's no bolt going through these to hold the stock on. There's a pin here, and a pin here, and a pin that goes through here that holds the hammer. I don't know what you call them. Hammer holders together. So there's some pins that goes through there. And the stock had been really loose. Now I tightened it up. It's nice and tight now. Now I notice every once in a while just a tiny little wobble, like it might be off face. But as I don't really plan on shooting this much, I think I will go out and shoot some low brass out of it. It didn't turn out too bad. I put some blue on, the cold blue on the barrels. I just did the barrels. I didn't do nothing on the receiver, but overall, I call it a success. I put a bead on the front. Now that's just a copper BB, no brass bead. Had the barrel sitting on a rubber mat while I was filing that. I still got one tiny little spot that wouldn't come out. That was just a little divot. But I think I'm just going to let it ride. Maybe give it a coat of paint so it blends in just a little bit better. And really not much I can do with it more. I don't think I can put any lines or anything on it. But, you know, it functions. Triggers both work. I had it apart several times and I put it back together. I kind of impressed myself. I learned a lot about these older rifles, or shotguns, excuse me. I'm tired. So here it is, the after. Let me know what you think. I don't think I really destroyed the value. I don't think it had a whole lot. Like I said, it had a lot of major defects and it was pretty beat up. Someone else had already done over the stock, probably several times in its lifetime. And I kind of like with less stain on the stock. You just see the wood. Now this white thing's kind of modern. I am going to look for a new butt plate. If you know where I can find one, that's got a moose head on it, and the holes are, you know, an American-made one. The holes are like 3 inches apart. These are only like 2.5. I don't care. I just want one that doesn't have a name on it, just a generic one, and I'll file it down, and if I have to, I'll drill holes, put new screws in. But I am looking for a new butt plate for it, and I'll take that white thing off. It doesn't look bad. It just makes it look a little bit more modern than what it really is. But I did a good job with the trigger guard. And there she is. Thanks for watching.